here. So we're not even going to take any breaks today. We're just going to go straight through for the hour today. Make sure we get everything out. It's not a lot, but just want to make sure we get everything out today. I mentioned 69 days till NFL football starts. The supplemental draft here in 6 days. And there are actually 7 players in the draft. I know we mentioned 3 players the other day, 2 kids from West Georgia and the big kid from Clemson, the big offensive tackle. But there are a couple of more, and I'm going to, if I can get this thing to pull up, I'll tell you who they are here. For those of you who don't know, the supplemental draft basically is if a kid has something occur after the actual draft that affects his eligibility, he can then petition the NFL to allow them to enter the supplemental draft. When a team drafts a player in the supplemental, it doesn't go like the regular draft. You just kind of put in a bid, like eBay. It's like eBay for football players. You just kind of put in a bid as far as what round you want to take this particular player in, and then based on where you're at, say there's a player out there, and there's me, Rob, and Coop, and player A, I want to give up a 3rd round pick for him, and because basically what happens is your next year pick of that round gets eliminated based on whatever round you choose said player in the supplemental draft. So I put in a round 3 bid, and then Coop puts in a round 6 bid, and then Rob puts in a round 5 bid. Well, I have the lowest bid, the lowest round number, so I get the player. And like I said, subsequently, next year, my 3rd round pick will be eliminated because I've spent it already on the supplemental draft pick this year. That's for those of you who don't know how it works. Now, these are the names: Isaiah Battle, again, the offensive lineman from Clemson. The West Georgia defensive end, Darius Caldwell. The West Georgia defensive tackle, Dalvin Stuckey. Houston defensive end, Eric Eland, E-I-L-A-N-D. UConn tight end, Sean McQuillan. And the Kansas defensive back, Kevin Short. And North Carolina Central wide receiver, we talked about him the other day as well. He's a receiver, kick returner, Adrian Wilkes. Now, the only player that people are pretty much sure of going is this kid Isaiah Battle, and I still don't know his story. I don't know what it is that happened that affected his eligibility, which would cause him to be an NFL prospect that happened to, now find himself in the supplemental draft. And maybe if I wasn't being lazy, I would have gone and looked, but yeah, that didn't happen. So anyway, that's going to happen. Rob, you realize Marcus Mariota still hasn't signed his deal, his rookie deal yet? And the holdup is the offset language in the deal. And I heard our guy, by the way, Jim Trotter, formerly of Sports Illustrated.
I missed it.
Oh, yeah. Jim was killing him with the peach suit last night, yesterday on, what was it, NFL Insiders, NFL Live? One of them, NFL Insiders, yeah.
Yeah, NFL Live.
Killing him. Yeah, he's one of the insiders. He was killing them. I was like, all right. Oh, yeah. The brother in this dude comes out more and more as he gets more and more comfortable in those ESPN digs, and I like it. But he was talking about the contract structure of the rookies now. And he kind of put some of it on Jameis Winston. And like, people forget. It always amazes me how soon amnesia sets in on people. Before the draft, everybody had everything to say about Jameis Winston, how selfish he was, how much of a me guy he was, and how immature he was. So what does the kid do? The kid gets drafted and immediately says, look, let me put pen to paper right now so I can get into camp and I can get things going and no one's talking about me, right? But then we find out Jameis Winston he doesn't have the offset language in his contract. And for those of you who want to know what offset language is, it basically gives the player, the rookies, an opportunity to double dip. So if, let's say, Jameis Winston looks like he's going to be trash, and the Buccaneers say, we're going to cut this dude after 2 years of a 4-year rookie deal. If he signs then with the Panthers or somebody, well, he'll be getting 2 checks. Well, Jameis won't because he didn't. His contract doesn't have the offset language in it. But a contract that does have it in means he'll still continue to get paid the remainder of his fully guaranteed rookie deal from the Buccaneers, as well as whatever money he ends up getting from the Carolina Panthers. And what Jim Trotter was explaining was that it's not a bad thing that Marcus Mariota is fighting for this. Not just because, I mean, there's probably little risk that he gets cut in that manner, but it's just a matter of principle that it be there and allow him to maximize his earning potential. The same way we talked about yesterday, these guys complaining about not having guaranteed contracts and these things. And Jim Trotter was like, there's no rule against that. Like if you want it, you can negotiate for it and fight for a fully guaranteed contract. But the problem is, it's probably not going to happen because you don't have any backing. Like none of your predecessors are doing that either. Even the guys who are getting paid the $100 and $110 million contracts, they're not getting those deals. They're not getting fully guaranteed $110 million contracts. But in theory, they could because there's no rule against it. He also talked about how, the fact that Jameis Winston did what he did, it now becomes a trickle effect. And then that's what the holdup is with Marcus Mariota now. Because once your first overall draft pick kind of sets the precedent, it's expected that the guys that follow him would kind of just fall into place. Because who went third, dude? Williams, right? The kid from USC went third, right?
Yep.
Leonard Williams. So
yep.
he doesn't have it in his contract either. So then we're talking about 1 and 3, the guys who bracket Marcus Mariota not having this offset language, but then Marcus Mariota wanting it. There was a rumor yesterday that had something to do with surfing. The Titans want to put something about him. He shouldn't be able to surf in his contract, and that's what's holding it up. And that ended up getting debunked because it sounded stupid anyway. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, like, all right, what are we talking about? I can't do nothing now. Like, you know what I mean? I can't ride a bike. I can't skip rope. I can't, all these things that could possibly injure me. I can't do any of those. I just got to walk around like with bubble wrap wrapped around me now. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that ended up getting debunked. But what they end up finding out, it is exactly what was initially thought, the offset language. Speaking of top quarterbacks, also apparently Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is defending RG3. And when you hear what this dude said, you realize he knows nothing about football. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And you know when a racist tries to prove that he's not racist, it always ends up sounding so much worse than if you just you just end up just shutting up. Just be quiet, dude. Because you don't sound like you're like yeah, I've got 12 black friends. Why are you counting? And how do you know they're your friends? First of all. Did I highlight it? Okay, here it is. Here's the quote from Rush Limbaugh. What is Rush Limbaugh on? What radio is he on? Is he?
No, he's on. Well, here in Atlanta, he's on WSB, but he's Premier Network.
Premier Network. Thank you, sir.
iHeartMedia. Yeah, iHeartMedia.
The quote is RG3, the quarterback. Don't know for how long. The Washington Redskins came into the league amidst great fanfare. He was on CBS DC with these comments. First round draft choice, Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, traded up to get RG3, and he's had some injuries, and he just hasn't maxed his potential. Well, some people think he's bombed, and the media, it's kind of strange because here we are, an African-American quarterback, and yet the media has been kind of mean to RG3. And one of the reasons is that it's expected that RG3 is a Republican, end quote. Okay, there's a couple of things here. Because Rush is not really in tuned, and maybe a lot of you guys aren't either, but you'll be surprised at how many black professional athletes vote Republican. You want to know why? Because the Republicans are always trying to pass tax cuts for the rich. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I remember a long time, my buddy Josh, when he was playing with the Redskins, and he was playing with LeVar Arrington. And this is when Bush was either running for the first time, 99. Was it Bush running for the first time in 99, Rob? You know more about this He's
yeah.
first time.
Because he went in office in 2000. Yeah.
And so everyone's like, y'all better vote for Bush, man. He gonna take care of your money. And the one dude that stood up and said something was LeVar Arrington. Was like, hold on, but what about my aunts and my people? They ain't got money like this. You know what I mean? So, why should I, instead of just me taking care of my own damn money, why should I put my people in a bind? And I thought that was a very, very introspective way of LeVar Arrington, by the way, who's in the media now. And it's a surprise. Well, it was initially when I heard that he was in the media, but does a pretty good job from what I've seen and heard him do radio. And, well, the NFL Network thing is kind of well, never mind. But, so the fact that my man Rush is pointing out that RG3 is a Republican, whatever, dude. First of all, whatever. And second of all, yeah, it's 2015. When the last time you heard somebody besides my dad mention somebody's a black quarterback? They're just quarterbacks now. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't Doug Williams, cuz. It's just a quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, we have an African-American quarterback. Thanks, Rush. We didn't even notice. Yeah, at this point in the game, that whole thing is it's a thing of the past. Us celebrating the fact that, or being surprised that there's a black quarterback on the field. Nah, it's kind of a regular thing now. You feel me? Like, think about, like, let me count here. We got Teddy Bridgewater, Cam Newton, got Jameis Winston now. Where else are we, Rob? Help me out here. Is that all of them? Oh, no. EJ Manuel.
Yeah, I forgot about EJ.
Well, you might should, because guess what? They're saying Tyrod Taylor, dude, who's another black quarterback, by the way, has a chance to win the starting job in Buffalo.
I heard that Ryan is really impressed with Tyrod Taylor right now.
What the hell is happening, dude? Like, Tyrod Taylor is like, he's like 5'8" on his best day. By the way, there's Russell Wilson as well. You gotta forget about Russell Wilson because as far as white people go, he's one of the good ones. You know what I mean? Like, he's not Cam Newton. He's one of the good ones. And you guys know what I mean. Yeah. Who else do we have, dude? I think that's it, right? Like 6 or 7 black quarterbacks.
Those are the starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, starters. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We kind of just put EJ Manuel and Tyrod Taylor in the same little basket because no one knows what the hell. Oh, Geno Smith, dude.
Who?
Geno.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And then we're sitting there talking about RG3, and I didn't even say his name, RG3 as well. So, yeah, we're up to about 10, about a third of the way.
Well, how crazy is it that right now, out in Seattle, my boy, Tavares Jackson, is making more money than Russell Wilson. So, can you count him?
I guess, whatever. Let's go. Let's go.
He got like 1.5.
Yeah. That dude there's like,
over there get like 724.
Yeah, Jack, like, I'm just going to kick it. I'm just going to chill, kick it, see what I can do, see if I can stack this paper. Yeah, but Russell Wilson's going to break the bank, B. Like, all this talk is because there's nothing to talk about. This talk about Russell Wilson's contract is only because there's nothing to talk about. This stuff happens every year, and everybody always falls for the old, banana in the tailpipe. But it always works out because at the end of the day, where you going? Like, if you're Seattle, where you going? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Rob just mentioned Tavares Jackson. Yeah, have fun. Have fun, Seattle, with that situation. Nah, Russell Wilson's your dude. He's everything. Like, and I'm kind of getting tired of hearing that about Andrew Luck. How, like, everyone wants to, like, they want to dissect Russell Wilson's money. But look at Andrew Luck. Yeah, he's just going to sit down, and they're just going to have to cut the check. I keep hearing that. Like, come on, this dude got his own limitations as well, man. First of all, he holds the ball way too long. And they talk about Russell Wilson being a scrambling quarterback and the risk of injury. Okay, 2 things. He gets down and gets out of bounds. Andrew Luck gets pummeled. Dude, like, he takes, and it's because he's like 250, he feels he can do that, but not for long. He stands there, and I understand why, because he knows what he knows, and he's smart enough to figure out that I need to hold this ball to the very last second. But that offensive line, first of all, is paper mache, and then second of all, he takes some of the biggest hits every year, standing right there in that pocket. So it ain't got to be on those scrambles. That's like the mythology of the quarterback position. Well,